Good morning, everybody. So check this out. It is Tuesday. It's a little overcast, a little dreary, but don't let that stop you from having fun and working and enjoying life. So today we've got some pretty cool projects. I'm going to do a follow-up and let y'all know what's going on. Remember last week when I did that video on the motorcycle? Well, we were able to resolve the problem. We were able to fix that. And I want to take you back here and kind of explain what we did. Got to get my little Gojo here. Watermelon Red Bull. That's some really good stuff. Anyway, let's take you on back here, show you what's going on. So last week I told you guys about the bike. I showed y'all the junk coming out of the oil pan, and we pulled out the oil pressure regulator. Reason why we went to that extent is because the customer had complained about where it had blown the O-ring to the oil filter, right? So after troubleshooting, the first step that I did was, well, let's eliminate the oil filter that he had. Let's drain all the oil. Let's put new oil in there. Let's put a new oil filter on there, and we'll go from there, right? I wanted the bike to run. I need a zero reference based off what the customer had told me. So we did that, and I let it idle up. It took about 4 minutes before the issue actually reared its little head. And sure as hell, it got to about 135, 140 degrees. I was giving a little bit of throttle right around 3,000 RPMs, and pop, O-ring on the oil filter popped off, or popped through, and oil sprayed everywhere. And right before it did it, the bike stumbled a little bit, and then right after that it actually popped it. So anyway, what we did was, I'm gonna flip the camera around. We ended up taking the oil pan off and everything from up underneath here. We took the exhaust off. As you can see, we found a lot of shards and crap and everything inside the oil pan, and amongst other things. Anyway, that was some really bad stuff. That was actually in the oil pan. I pulled out the fuel pressure regulator inside it, because that actually bleeds off oil pressure to prevent you from blowing seals. And when I pulled the oil pressure regulator out, it seemed like it operated okay. So what it is, it's actually a spring-loaded plunger on a bore, right? You got a big bore that's machined and everything with an O-ring, and it's got a plunger on it that's spring operated with a circlip on the bottom. Well, as oil pressure increases, that will cause it to push down on the inside piston of that bore and bleed off pressure. And it was obviously when the temperature got to a certain point, and it made that bore and cylinder stiff or tighten up, you know. And from that point, anyway, I took it out. I started inspecting it, started pushing on the plunger, seeing what's going on. It felt smoothish. I was questioning it and everything. So I took it apart and slid the cylinder out of it, and sure as hell there was debris in there. Plastic shards, right? It was actually a real thin piece. You're gonna like this project. There's a real thin piece, 2 of them, that had actually gotten between the wall of the cylinder bore for the regulator and the plunger that slides up and down inside it. So I took it all out, cleaned it and everything else. I took a scope and went through the passage from the oil filter and also the water to oil cooler, pulled it off to make sure there was no other debris, blew it out. Debris came out. Made sure those patches are about as clean as I can get them without tearing the motor down. The customer's aware of this. From that point, I cleaned out the oil pan, got the rest of the gunk out of it, got the rest of the plastic shards and everything else out of it. It was really bad. I'm not sure where they came from. There is a little bit of mixed history of ownership of this bike, so the owner that owns it now does not know the full history prior to. So we checked to make sure that the camshaft tensioner was fine on it. There's no issues there. It's in good shape. So on and so forth. So anyway, I put the oil pan back on it. Friday. Put the oil filter back on there. Actually, I put a new oil filter on it. I did reinstall the oil pressure regulator. I let it sit over the weekend because I wanted the gasket to seal up on the oil pan, make sure everything was good to go. Came in yesterday, put the exhaust back on, put the radiator back on and everything. Filled it up with oil again. Fired it on up. And I was kind of watching the temperature of the bike and stuff, and everything's good to go. That's how we was able to fix the problem. It's got good oil pressure like it needs to be, about 140 psi. And from that point, there's no other failures. If it was going to fail, if there was something wrong with that oil pressure regulator, even after I cleaned it and cleaned all the passages, it would have already blown by now. Hopefully there's any other particulates. Hopefully the oil filter will catch it. I can't, without taking the motor apart, you're not going to catch everything. All right, so that's the update for that. So this week we got some pretty cool projects going on. We have ourselves an OSB, which is Old Square by Chevrolet. The customer's going to have us put a sniper system in. We got a customer that actually has, what year is that? 2019. 2019. I was going to say 2020. 2019 Challenger. We're doing an exhaust on it. So there are. I'll show you the square body here. So here's the square body. We really like this, man. This thing's clean. It's tight. It's going to be kind of a daily driver. I mean, it's kind of a little old school stuff, but it looks good. I mean, heck, look at the dash. I'm digging it. Heck, hell, I'll ride it. But, you know, it's got a mild, you know, street 350 in it. Nothing crazy, nothing radical. And we're going to put a Holley sniper on it today, or this week. We'll be wrapping that up. So anyway, I'm going to put this camera in. Matt, he's going to give you a rundown.
19 Challenger, putting the Flowmaster FX system on there. Cat back, places the X pipe in it. Takes out these two pre-mufflers and the mufflers in the rear. Replaces all with just two mufflers up front where the, I guess you'd call them resonators go. Should sound pretty good. Still keeps the factory exhaust valve in it. The bolt right up here. So it still keeps everything going from 2.5 to a 3-inch exhaust. Should sound pretty good. Did you talk about the...
I did. You want to add to it? I told him he's doing a sniper. I think there's some other things.
Yeah, we're doing sniper EFI with the distributor and CDI box. Yeah.
I forgot about the distributor.
So customer wants it to be, not really looking for power, just efficiency, and wants to daily drive it. So that system will be it with the distributor, will be able to control both fuel and spark. So should make for a really nice driver. The truck already sounds great. Nothing wild, like Randall said, pretty mild setup, but I think it's gonna make a good driver.
Yeah, we're excited about it. We're excited. It's a clean truck. Clean truck. Well, cool. That gives you a rundown of what we're doing this week. Among other things that's going to be coming in and out of the shop. If you have questions, give us a shout, and we'll try to do our best on respond to them and stuff. So give us some ideas of what y'all like to see. Yes, we put out there last night onto the calendar a movie night. We're going to be creating a poll on 3 movies to choose from, and whichever one of those 3 on the poll is voted the highest is going to be the movie we play on that evening. So we're going to kind of make a customer choice. We're not really too worried about what movie it is. It's just what customers want. So anyway, appreciate you. God bless.